All right, in this video, we're going to go over some components that you should avoid buying aftermarket and should buy OEM if possible. If you cannot buy them OEM from the original manufacturer, you should at least try to get them as higher quality as possible. Because most of these components, if you do buy them aftermarket, the problem is they don't fix the original issue or they create new issues that you've never had before. All right, so we're going to start with the first one, catalytic converter. Some of you might have experienced that if you bought a aftermarket catalytic converter. So the reason why you would buy a catalytic converter is either you have a exhaust restriction. So that's when the material inside the catalytic converter has broken apart and then finds its way in the exhaust system, and then that's when you have a exhaust what's it called? Plugged exhaust, or a restriction, like I said. And then the most common reason is going to be for a engine code, which is a P0420 or a P0430, which is going to be a catalytic converter performance below threshold. So that's going to come from the oxygen sensor right behind it. Usually there's going to be an oxygen sensor right here, and that's the one that's going to read the efficiency of the cat, and then that's going to throw that code over here. So I had that experience before. So I had a 2011 Cruise where I changed it for a aftermarket catalytic converter, and it fixed the code initially, which the code was a P0420. It fixed the code initially, but then after a year and a half, the code came back, so the P0420. So I knew right there that the only way to fix this code permanently is to opt for a OEM catalytic converter, which obviously it was pretty expensive. It was $1,000, and the aftermarket one that I bought, I think it was $300. So that price difference, it's kind of tempting for sure, but it just doesn't fix your original issue of the P0420. So because these cats are not made the same quality, and some of them are actually smaller in size, they're never going to be made the same as the OEM original cat. So that's why it's $1,000. And then it might be tempting to buy the $300 one, but mine took a year and a half for the code to come back, and I know some other cars where the code come back after a month or a week and so on. So avoid buying a aftermarket catalytic converter, especially if you're in a province or state where you have to pass yearly inspection. Then you have no choice sometimes but to get the OEM one. The province I live in, it's not mandatory to pass inspection, so I'm just gonna live with that check engine light, which is the P0420, and then yeah. So obviously it's gonna be hard if you have like a bigger truck where they have multiple catalytic converter. They have either 2 or 3, and then if those go bad because either like a misfire issue that wasn't addressed, or you're getting this code P0420, then you're gonna have to dish out more than $1,000. I believe for some pickup trucks, the catalytic converters are around $2,000 each, or $2,500. All right, so that's the downside of buying an aftermarket catalytic converter. They're not really gonna fix your issue. All right, next up is going to be similar. Well, it's going to be related to the exhaust system again. So exhaust and resonators. So any exhaust system components like resonators or mufflers, for some reason the aftermarket ones are not really built as well as the OEM ones. For sure the OEM ones are really expensive, but the price reflects the quality. I remember I bought a aftermarket muffler for a car, especially if you live in the Salt Belt with really cold climates. Then these mufflers won't last. They'll rust around the joints here, and as well as up here. They'll rust, and then they'll crack, and they don't even last like 3 years. Some, depending on where you live, they could last a year, 2 years max, and then you either have to buy a new one or start welding all these joints. But if you could end up getting a higher quality aftermarket one, which I don't know any of, or if you end up getting the OEM one, the OEM ones last so much longer than the aftermarket ones. The aftermarket ones are really, really bad. I don't know what type of metal they use, or maybe it's the rust prevention treatment. I don't know. It's just with my experience, they were all really bad, and yeah. Next time, it's better to opt for a OEM exhaust system, not the full complete one, especially, but just the main parts, which is going to be the resonator and the muffler, just to save you some time, and then fix your actual issue, which is an exhaust leak. All right, next up we have timing belts and components. So either timing belts or timing chains with the tensioners and guides and all that. So I've had experiences where these pulleys have made noise after only a few months, just because they were aftermarket, either Chinese or just some other made in some other country. I don't know. So you never want to compromise for on quality, especially for a timing component, which, timing belts, you should be done at 100,000 kilometers. And then chains, they say chains are a lifetime, but I don't believe that. So chains maybe around 200, 150 to 200K kilometers. So if you're gonna be doing that job at that mileage, then might as well just pay for higher quality components, especially if you're gonna keep the car a long time. So you'll avoid like having pulleys fail and tensioners that are noisy, and also you want the highest quality timing belt, and as well as the chain if your car is equipped with that. All right, next up we have the mass airflow sensor. So on some cars they're going to give you a mass airflow sensor code, and then the first reaction for everyone is to replace the mass airflow sensor. So on some cars they actually do need the mass airflow sensor if you've diagnosed it correctly, but on some other cars, if you replace that component, it actually could cause misfire issues, drivability issues, and I've seen it in some case where it's a no start due to a aftermarket mass airflow sensor. So especially the eBay ones or the Amazon ones, with the price, they're really tempting to buy, and then just thinking you're gonna fix your issue, but they just create more issues sometimes. And then if you're not really good at diagnosing, then you're gonna have to pay a mechanic to diagnose it for you. And then if he's gonna use an hour or 2 hours of his time, so that's 2 hours of labor that you're gonna pay for, because originally you thought you were gonna save money off the aftermarket parts. So there's a saying there, it's buy once, cry once. So especially OEM OEM mass airflow sensors, they're really expensive. They're over $400 depending on the car make and model for sure. But yeah, that's the thing. If you if you made sure that part is the one that needs replacing, just go ahead and just buy the OEM one, just to avoid any other issues. And at the end, it's gonna probably be like a few $100s difference, as long as you save yourself some headache, and then, which is the most important, and fix your issue, which is also the most important. All right, next up we have the high pressure fuel pumps, and for some reason all of these components are the most expensive components in any car. So next up is the high pressure fuel pump. So these go around $800 to $1,200 OEM, and then you'll see some aftermarket ones at around $200 to $300, and that's really tempting to go get them, but sometimes they could cause fuel pressure issues, which originally that was most of these complaints are going to be related to fuel pressure issues. And then on some GM cars, if you don't buy the OEM one, they'll have the computer will have self tests, and they'll self test on the high pressure fuel pump, and if it doesn't like the desired results, then it's going to throw a check engine light, check engine, and then yeah, you're back to square one. Although you could have fixed the original misfire by replacing that component, but the computer doesn't like the whatever how it's built or the internals or the self tests and the data that's coming back to the computer. It doesn't like those numbers, so it's always going to throw a check engine light, and then you're going to have to bite the bullet and then just buy the original one to satisfy the computer. But it's hard to swallow that pill because it's $800 to $1,200, and especially if you're not doing these repairs on your own, then you could go ahead and test with various components, like various aftermarket brands. It's your car at the end of the day. But if you're sending your car to a mechanic, then most of the time he's going to opt in for OEM or higher quality aftermarket components, because yeah, he's trying to warranty his work and he's not trying to have a comeback as well. So that's why a lot of shops will refuse refuse your work if you say that you brought your own parts. Because if you bring your own parts, then and it doesn't fix the issue, then they'll you could blame them. They know that the customer is going to blame them, saying, "Oh, you didn't fix it, and I brought you this part." So that's why if you go to a garage, they're the ones that are going to do the diagnosing. They can't really trust what the customer says, because sometimes they don't know what they're talking about. So they're going to do the diagnostic, and they're going to call the components, and they're going to tell you which components they're going to opt in for, which depending on the quality. And most garages know their stuff, where they're these components, they're not going to cheap out on a high pressure fuel pump or even a mass airflow sensor. So, and that's where you would have to have the discussion with the customer, saying, this is the parts that we're going to put in because we want to warranty our work. So we're not going to put any aftermarket junk just because you can't afford it. So we're just going to be back to square one. If you put aftermarket junk, then you'll have more problems down the line. Then what's the point of it, really? All right. Lastly, there are more components for sure that I've experienced where aftermarket parts just caused more issues, or it just didn't fix the original issue. But we could go on all day. But we're gonna go over the last one, which is suspension components. So I've heard experiences where people buy these fully assembled struts, especially on the car that you have. If you have like a higher brand luxury car, or a higher brand luxury car, they could actually ruin the ride quality if you buy some cheap aftermarket struts you put in your front suspension. They could actually do more noise. I've seen brand new ones that the top plate bearing fails like probably after 2-3 months. Like the shock absorber is fine, the spring is fine, but it's just the top plate bearing which ruins the ride quality, and then you're back to square one. For these, you could go aftermarket. There's lots of good aftermarket parts like KYB and Monroe. So these I've had experience with, and they're really good struts. They don't cause any other issues. And I forgot the other one was FC. I think it was FCB. I forgot, something like that. Okay, and then next up, I've had experience with bad outer tie rods as well. If you see an outer tie rod for 20-30 bucks, it doesn't mean that you have to buy it. It doesn't mean you have to buy it for 20 or 30 bucks. Like 20-30 bucks is going to reflect the quality for sure. So for suspension components, for sure, go aftermarket. That's no problem. Even the some aftermarkets are actually better than the OEM ones. I know with Kia it is, but at least for suspension components, like at least you should be spending 60 plus, depending on the brand, obviously. But yeah, don't be spending 20 bucks on a outer tie rod. That's what I did on a 2010 Sentra. I was like, oh, you know what? I don't. It was my car. I don't really care about this car. So it was a $20 outer tie rod, and yeah, yeah, it came loose again in 5,000 kilometers. So, which was, I think, a few months down the line, it came loose again. So what I did was I just went and bought, I think, a higher quality one, and then that fixed the issue. So if it's like 20, 30 bucks, then just avoid buying it, because you could be running into the same issue, especially if you're not doing this job on your own, which is you're gonna pay for labor. You're gonna pay for the part again if you don't have, if you can warranty the part, and then you're gonna pay for another alignment, which is pretty bad. This job could get pretty expensive, so over 300 bucks for sure, just for an outer tie rod that you opted to buy because it was cheap. So always, there's lots of good quality aftermarket parts for suspension. So I've never had too many issues with these, but it's just yeah, avoid buying the really cheap ones, just so you won't go over, you won't have to pay for another a few more labor hours, as well as the alignment. All right, that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Hope you find it helpful. Hope you find it valuable. Comment, like, and subscribe. Do all that stuff. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.